Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun!
A veil of privacy shrouded the forgotten contents at the back of the wardrobe, guarded by seasons of neglect and disuse. Here slept relics, only brought out under the veil of solitude and secrecy. Delicate garments awaited their liberation from the shadows. Each piece a whispered memory of colors, textures, and forgotten selves. As the eyes scanned their everyday image in the glass, a tremble of breath escaped a pair of lips made hesitant by routine. Unassuming was the watchword for their self-presentation, a careful calibration between personal freedom and social invisibility. At a touch, the decision was made. Today, the dormant wardrobe would stay dormant. The apartment had been meticulously cleaned, the guest room prepared, and several guy-approved beers chilled in the refrigerator. Every trace of the other life, the true self, had been tucked away, as it always was when anyone visited. The doorbell rang 20 minutes earlier than expected. After a quick glance around to ensure nothing revealing had been left out, the door opened to reveal Harper, beaming with her usual exuberance. "Kai!" She dropped her weekend bag and wrapped her arms around her cousin in a tight hug. "I made great time on the highway. Hope you don't mind me being early."
"Not at all. Come in,"
Kai replied, taking her bag. "How was the drive?" Harper launched into a story about highway construction and a detour through a small town as she followed him into the apartment. She wore her usual outfit of jeans and a graphic t-shirt, her dark hair pulled back in a casual ponytail. The cousins had always been close, despite their different personalities. Harper outgoing and spontaneous, Kai reserved and methodical. "I brought wine," Harper announced, pulling a bottle from her bag. "And I have big plans for us this weekend. There's a new exhibit at the art museum I want to check out, and I found this amazing restaurant that's supposed to have the best brunch in town." Kai nodded along, half listening as he stored her bag in the guest room. The weekend would follow the usual pattern: sightseeing, meals out, catching up on family gossip. Safe activities that required no vulnerability, no revelation of the truth that had been hidden for so long. The evening passed pleasantly with takeout and reminiscing about childhood summers spent at their grandparents' lake house. As the night grew later and the wine bottle emptier, the conversation drifted toward their current lives.
"How's the new job going?"
Kai asked, refilling Harper's glass. "It's good. Challenging, but in a good way." She tucked her feet under her on the couch. "What about you? Still working those insane hours at the firm?"
"It pays the bills."
Kai shrugged, looking down at the carpet.
"And what about the rest of life? Dating anyone?"
The question hung in the air. Dating had always been complicated, hard to form connections when half of yourself remained locked away. "Not really. Work keeps me busy." Harper studied her cousin's face with an intensity that made Kai uncomfortable. "You know, we talk all the time, but sometimes I feel like I don't really know what's going on with you anymore." "There's not much to tell." "I don't believe that." She set her wine glass down. "We used to tell each other everything, Kai. Remember when we were kids? No secrets between us." The weight of those words pressed against Kai's chest. How many times had the truth nearly spilled out during their late-night phone calls or weekend visits? How many times had the words formed but never found voice? "I'm just tired," Kai said finally. "Let's talk about something else." But Harper wasn't deterred. "Something's been different with you for years now. You're always holding back. Did I do something wrong?" "No, of course not." "Then what is it?" Because I miss my cousin, the real one who didn't measure every word before speaking. Perhaps it was the wine, or the genuine concern in Harper's eyes, or simply the exhaustion of maintaining the facade for so long. Whatever the reason, Kai stood up abruptly.
Wait here.
Heart pounding, Kai walked to the bedroom closet and pulled out the cardboard box, hands shaking slightly. This wasn't how it was supposed to happen. There was no script prepared, no careful explanation rehearsed. But if not now, when? And if not Harper, who? Returning to the living room with the box, Kai set it on the coffee table between them. Harper looked at it curiously. What's this? Taking a deep breath, Kai opened the lid. Nestled inside were neatly folded women's clothes, a silk blouse in deep green, a black pencil skirt, a modest collection of jewelry, and beneath them, more items carefully arranged.
This is what I've been hiding,
Kai said quietly, eyes fixed on the open box rather than Harper's face.
For years. Since college, actually.
The silence stretched out, becoming almost unbearable. Finally, Kai looked up to see Harper staring not with disgust or shock, but with something that looked like understanding. You like to dress in women's clothing, she said simply. It's more than that. The words came out in a rush now. When I wear these clothes, I feel right, like I'm finally myself. I've never told anyone, never had the courage. Harper reached across the table and took Kai's hand. Thank you for trusting me with this. How often do you dress up? Whenever I'm alone, which isn't often enough. The relief of finally saying these things out loud was overwhelming. I have to plan everything so carefully. Make sure no one drops by unexpectedly. It's exhausting. Harper nodded, then looked thoughtfully at the contents of the box. Can I see your full collection? The question was unexpected, but not unwelcome. Kai led Harper to the bedroom and opened the closet, revealing the hidden section behind winter coats where a small but carefully curated selection of women's clothing hung. These are beautiful pieces, Harper said, examining a burgundy sweater dress. You have good taste. Thank you. Kai watched nervously as Harper looked through the items. You're taking this really well. Harper turned, her expression serious. You're my cousin and my best friend. Nothing changes that. She pulled out a navy blue blouse. Have you ever gone out dressed in these? No, never had the courage. A smile spread across Harper's face. Would you like to? What do you mean? I mean, would you like to go shopping tomorrow? As yourself? The offer was both terrifying and exhilarating. I don't know if I could pass in public. First of all, you don't need to pass to deserve respect, Harper said firmly. But second, I think with a little help, you absolutely could if that's what you want. I'm pretty good with makeup, and we could find you some new pieces that really work for you. Tears welled up unexpectedly. You'd do that for me? In a heartbeat. Harper hugged her cousin tightly. What should I call you when you're dressed this way? Do you have a name you use? The question had been considered many times in private moments. I've thought about it. I like Marley. Marley, Harper repeated, nodding approvingly.
It suits you.
That night, for the first time, Kai slept peacefully, unburdened by the weight of secrecy. The morning brought nervousness, but also anticipation. Harper took charge, helping with makeup application and styling Kai's brown hair to frame the face more softly. You have great bone structure, Harper commented as she applied a light foundation. "And your hair has the perfect texture for this style. Just needs a little product." The transformation took nearly 2 hours. When it was complete, Marley stood before the mirror in a simple outfit from her existing collection, dark washed jeans and a flowing purple top. The person in the reflection was both familiar and new, the outer appearance finally aligning with the inner truth. "What do you think?" Harper asked, standing behind her cousin. "I think this is who I've always been." Marley's voice cracked slightly. "Well, Marley, I think you need shoes to complete this outfit, and I know just the place to find them." The drive to the mall was nerve-wracking. Each stoplight brought the possibility of being seen, judged. Harper kept up a steady stream of conversation, sensing her cousin's anxiety. "My favorite shoe store is having a sale. The salespeople there are amazing, totally focused on helping you find the right fit and style." She glanced over. "How are you feeling?" "Terrified, excited, like I might throw up." Harper laughed. "That's how I felt before my first date with Daniel. It'll be okay. I'm right here with you." The mall parking lot was crowded for a Saturday morning. Marley hesitated before opening the car door. What if someone recognizes me? Then they recognize you. But most people are too wrapped up in their own lives to notice others. Harper squeezed her hand. "Ready when you are. No rush." After a deep breath, Marley stepped out of the car. The walk across the parking lot felt like crossing an ocean, each step carrying her further from the shore of her old life. Inside the mall, the noise and bustle were overwhelming at first, but Harper's steady presence beside her provided an anchor. "Here we are," Harper announced as they reached a stylish boutique with a window display of elegant footwear. "Best shoe selection in town." Inside, a salesperson with a bright smile approached them. "Good morning, ladies. How can I help you today?" The word ladies sent a thrill through Marley. She looked to Harper, momentarily speechless. "My cousin needs some new shoes," Harper explained smoothly. "Something versatile, but with a bit of flair." "Absolutely. What size are you looking for?" Another moment of panic. Marley had researched this, knew her size in women's shoes, but saying it aloud to a stranger was different. "I wear a 10, she managed to say, her voice higher than usual. "Perfect! We have plenty of options in that size. Is there a particular style you're interested in? Flats? Heels? Boots?" "Flats, I think. For now." The qualifier felt important, an acknowledgement that this was just the beginning. The salesperson nodded and disappeared into the back room, returning moments later with several boxes.
"These are some of our most popular styles in your size.
Feel free to try them all." Over the next hour, Marley tried on more shoes than she had in the previous year. There were simple black ballet flats, colorful espadrilles, and embellished sandals. Each pair brought a different feeling, a different possibility. "What about these?" Harper held up a pair of leopard print pointed toe flats with black trim. "They're statement pieces, but still neutral enough to go with lots of outfits." Marley slipped them on, instantly charmed by how they looked. Standing up to check the fit in the mirror, she felt a surge of confidence. "They're perfect." She walked a few steps, adjusting to the slight point at the toe. "Comfortable, too." "Those look fabulous on you," the salesperson commented. "The leopard print is subtle enough for work, but adds interest to any outfit." Work. The word brought reality crashing back. Could she ever wear these to the office? Would there ever be a time when Marley wasn't just a weekend identity? Harper, sensing the shift in mood, stepped in. "We'll take these, and can you point us toward women's clothing? We're putting together a complete outfit today." The next few hours passed in a blur of fitting rooms and discussions about colors and styles. Harper proved to be an invaluable guide, steering Marley toward pieces that flattered her figure while respecting her still developing sense of personal style. "These black leggings are a staple," Harper explained, holding them up. "You can dress them up or down depending on what you pair them with." By the end of the shopping expedition, Marley had acquired not just the leopard print flats, but also black leggings, a long burgundy tunic that skimmed over her hips, and several gold accessories that Harper insisted pulled the whole look together. "Let's get lunch," Harper suggested as they left the last store, bags in hand. "There's a quiet cafe on the second floor with great salads." The idea of sitting in public, ordering food, having a normal conversation while dressed as her true self, it was another step into the unknown. But the morning's successes had built a foundation of confidence. The cafe was busy but not crowded. They found a table near the window, and Marley carefully arranged her shopping bags beside her chair. "So," Harper said after they had ordered, "how does it feel, being out in the world as Marley?" "Surreal. Wonderful." Marley looked down at her new shoes, visible beneath the table. "I keep waiting for someone to point and laugh or tell me I don't belong here." "But no one has, because you do belong here." Harper sipped her water. "You know, I've been thinking about this all morning. Was there a moment when you first knew?" The question brought back memories long buried. "I was maybe 12. I tried on one of Mom's dresses when no one was home. It was this simple blue sundress, nothing fancy, but looking in the mirror..." Marley paused, searching for words. "It was like seeing myself clearly for the first time." Harper nodded. "What about now? Is this something you want to do more often? Or is it just an occasional thing?" "I don't know," Marley admitted. "Until last night, I never imagined having the opportunity to explore this part of myself openly. It was just this secret thing I did alone." "Well, it doesn't have to be secret anymore. Not with me, anyway." Harper reached across the table. "What if we made this a regular thing? I come visit once a month, and we have a girls' day out. You can slowly build up your wardrobe, gain confidence." The offer brought tears to Marley's eyes. "You'd do that?" "Of course I would. And maybe eventually, if you want, we could talk about other steps. Finding a therapist who specializes in gender identity, looking into support groups, whatever feels right for you." For so long, these possibilities had seemed unreachable, existing only in late-night internet searches and private dreams. Now, they were real, tangible options laid out on a cafe table between salads and iced teas. "Thank you," Marley said simply, the words inadequate for the emotions behind them. "You don't need to thank me for being a decent human being." Harper smiled. "Besides, this is fun for me too."
I've always wanted a shopping buddy with good taste.
The rest of the weekend passed in a comfortable rhythm of trying on clothes, watching makeup tutorials, and talking late into the night about everything that had been left unsaid for years. When Sunday evening arrived, and Harper prepared to leave, there was none of the usual relief Kai had felt when visitors departed. Only gratitude for the time shared and anticipation for the next visit. "Same time next month?" Harper confirmed as she loaded her bag into the car. "Absolutely." No longer dressed as Marley, but carrying her inside, Kai, or perhaps more accurately, Marley in Kai's clothing, hugged Harper tightly. Thank you for everything. Just be thinking about what you want to do next time. Maybe we could try a movie or dinner out? The idea was both thrilling and intimidating. Maybe. One step at a time. After Harper drove away, the apartment felt different. Not empty, but full of possibilities. The cardboard box would no longer be necessary. Those treasured items could hang properly in the closet now, no longer hidden away like shameful secrets. The month between visits passed slowly. Work remained the same, with long hours at the firm and the familiar discomfort of moving through the world as Kai. But evenings and weekends took on new meaning. Hours were spent practicing makeup techniques Harper had demonstrated, organizing the growing collection of women's clothing, and researching everything from voice training to hair care. True to her word, Harper returned the following month. This time, their outing included not just shopping, but also a movie, a step that had seemed impossibly daunting just weeks before. "You seem more comfortable today," Harper observed as they found their seats in the theater. "I am," Marley confirmed, smoothing her dress, a new purchase, a simple navy blue A-line with 3/4 sleeves. "Still nervous, but less like I'm about to jump out of my skin." "That's progress. And by the way, that color is perfect on you." These monthly visits became sacred ritual. Each one pushed the boundaries a little further: a busy restaurant, a walk in the park, an afternoon at the museum. With each successful outing, Marley's confidence grew, along with her wardrobe and her understanding of herself. 6 months into their arrangement, Harper arrived with a determined expression. "I have something to propose," she announced as soon as she was through the door. "My brother's wedding is next month." The family connection brought an immediate understanding of what Harper was suggesting. "You want me to go as Marley?" "Only if you're ready, but I think you are." Harper set down her bag. "It would mean coming out to the family, which is a huge step, but I'd be right beside you the whole time." The prospect was terrifying. These outings with Harper had been controlled environments. They could leave at any time, and encounters with strangers were brief. A family wedding would mean hours of interaction with people who had known Kai for years. "I don't know," Marley said honestly. "That's a big leap from what we've been doing." "It is," Harper acknowledged. "But think about it, having the whole family know at once. No more individual conversations, no more hiding when relatives visit. And our family is pretty progressive. Aunt Carol has that rainbow flag on her porch year-round." The thought was compelling. "Let me think about it this weekend." "It's not a no, just I need to process." "Of course. No pressure." Harper smiled. "And if it's too soon, that's completely okay. We move at your pace." That night, lying awake, Marley considered the invitation. Coming out to family would be a definitive step. There would be no going back, no maintaining the dual life that had become increasingly difficult to sustain. The thought brought both anxiety and unexpected relief. By Sunday, the decision was made. "I'll go," Marley told Harper over breakfast. "As myself, as Marley." Harper's face lit up. "Really? That's wonderful. Are you sure?" "No," Marley admitted with a nervous laugh. "But I'm tired of living half a life. And you're right. Our family is generally good-hearted. They might not understand immediately, but they're not cruel people. This calls for a special shopping trip. You'll need the perfect outfit for a spring wedding." The following weeks were filled with preparations. A formal dress was purchased. An elegant emerald green that complemented Marley's brown hair and fair skin. Shoes were carefully selected for both style and comfort, knowing there would be hours of standing and socializing. Harper helped practice potential conversations, preparing for questions that would inevitably arise. As the wedding weekend approached, Marley's resolve wavered several times. Late-night phone calls to Harper became frequent, filled with doubts and fears. What if Uncle Dave makes a scene? You know how traditional he is.
Then Aunt Martha will handle him, just like she always does,
Harper reassured her.
And remember, this is about Peter and Alyssa's wedding.
No one wants to create drama on their day. Maybe I should wait for a less important occasion. Maybe. But when would that be? Christmas? Thanksgiving? There's never going to be a perfect time, Marley. And Peter specifically asked if you were coming when I mentioned you might attend with me. This was news. You told Peter? Not everything. Just that you'd be coming as Marley. He said, and I quote, "Cool. Make sure she knows the dress code is cocktail attire." That simple acceptance from her cousin, the casual inclusion, the lack of fanfare, provided the final push of courage needed. The day of the wedding arrived with perfect spring weather. Marley and Harper got ready together in the hotel room they had booked near the venue. The transformation that had once taken hours now happened with practiced efficiency. Foundation, contouring, eye makeup, all applied with a steady hand. "Your makeup skills have gotten so good," Harper commented as she zipped up her own dress, a flattering coral that complemented the wedding's color scheme. "I've had a lot of practice these past months." Marley adjusted her emerald dress, checking that it draped properly. Her brown hair, grown out slightly longer than Kai had ever worn it, was styled in soft waves that framed her face. "How are you feeling?" Harper asked as they prepared to leave the hotel room. "Like I might throw up." Marley took a deep breath. "But also, ready. It's time." The wedding venue was a beautifully restored historic building with gardens where the ceremony would take place. As they approached, Marley could see family members already gathering, familiar faces engaged in conversation. "Remember," Harper said quietly, "I'm right here. We can leave at any time if it gets overwhelming." The first encounter was with Aunt Carol, who turned as they approached and did a slight double take before her face broke into a warm smile.
"Harper,
and..." She paused, clearly trying to place the familiar yet transformed person before her. "This is Marley," Harper said simply. "My cousin." Understanding dawned in Carol's eyes, followed immediately by acceptance. "Marley, it's lovely to see you. That dress is absolutely stunning on you." The interaction set the tone for what followed. There were surprised looks, occasional moments of confusion, and a few whispered conversations in corners. But overwhelmingly, the response was one of acceptance, some immediate, some clearly working through their initial reactions, but none of the outright rejection Marley had feared. Uncle Dave, the family's most conservative member, approached during the reception after clearly having observed from a distance for some time.
"So,"
he said, his voice gruff but not unkind.
"Harper tells me you're going by Marley now."
"Yes." Standing tall in the emerald dress and carefully chosen heels, Marley met his gaze directly. "I am." He nodded slowly.
"Can't say I understand it all, but you seem happier than I've seen you in years, and that counts for something in my book."
It wasn't perfect understanding, but it was acceptance, and that was more than enough. Throughout the evening, Marley danced with Harper, chatted with relatives, and even caught the eye of one of the groom's friends, who complimented her shoes, the leopard print flats that had been the very first purchase on that first shopping trip, now saved for special occasions. At one point, the bride herself sought Marley out. "I just wanted to say thank you," Alyssa said, resplendent in her wedding gown. "For what?" "For trusting us with your truth on our day. Peter told me how nervous you were about coming. I'm honored that you felt comfortable enough to be yourself here." The genuine warmth in her new cousin-in-law's words brought tears to Marley's eyes. "Thank you for making me feel welcome." As the night wound down and guests began to depart, Harper found Marley sitting at a table, watching the remaining dancers with a contented expression. "How are you doing?" Harper asked, sliding into the chair beside her. "Surprisingly good. Better than I expected." Marley turned to look at her cousin, the person who had made all of this possible. "I keep waiting for it to hit me. The regret, or fear, or whatever comes after a big leap like this. But instead, I just feel right. Because this is right for you. This is who you are. I couldn't have done any of this without you." Harper shook her head. "You would have found your way eventually. I just helped speed up the timeline a bit." The wedding marked a turning point. What had been monthly outings as Marley became increasingly frequent, until the time spent as Kai was limited almost exclusively to work hours. The dual life grew more difficult to maintain, the contrast between authenticity and pretense more painful each day. 3 months after the wedding, Marley made another decision. Sitting in her apartment, now decorated with touches that reflected her true self, colorful throw pillows, framed artwork, plants that brought life to the space, she called Harper. "I'm going to transition fully," she announced, when her cousin answered. "I found a therapist who specializes in gender identity. I have an appointment next week." Harper's excitement came clearly through the phone. "That's wonderful! How are you feeling about it?" "Scared. Excited. Like I'm finally stepping into the life I was meant to have." Marley looked around her apartment, at the space that had witnessed her gradual emergence. "I'm going to tell my boss next month. I've been researching the company's policies, and they actually have pretty good protections in place." "Do you want me to come for that? Moral support?" "No, I think this is something I need to do on my own. But maybe you could come the weekend after, either to celebrate or to pick up the pieces, depending on how it goes." "I'll be there either way," Harper promised. The conversation with her employer went better than expected. There were practical discussions about timing, use of facilities, and how to communicate the change to clients and colleagues. HR provided resources and support. While not everyone was immediately comfortable or understanding, the framework was laid for Marley to begin living authentically in all aspects of her life. The final phase of her transition from part-time to full-time authenticity happened gradually over the following year. Hormone therapy softened her features further. Her wardrobe expanded from weekend wear to professional attire. Legal name changes were processed. Each step brought its own challenges, but none as difficult as the years spent hiding. 2 years after that first shopping trip for leopard print flats, Marley hosted a holiday gathering at her apartment. Harper was there, of course, but so were other family members, colleagues from work, and new friends made along the way. As Marley moved through the party in a festive red sweater dress and those same leopard print flats, now well-worn but still beloved, Harper pulled her aside. "Look at all this," she said, gesturing to the gathering. "Look at the life you've created." Marley surveyed the room filled with people who knew and accepted her for who she truly was. "Sometimes, I can't believe how far I've come." "I can," Harper said simply. You were always this person. Strong, authentic, brave. You just needed the space to let her exist. The cardboard box that had once held secret treasures was long gone, its contents either incorporated into Marley's daily life or donated as she refined her personal style. In its place was something far more valuable, the freedom to live without compartmentalizing, without hiding, without apology.
Thank you,
Marley said, embracing her cousin.
for seeing me when I couldn't even see myself clearly.
Always, Harper replied. That's what family is for. Around them, the party continued, conversations flowing, laughter rising, new connections forming. It was, Marley realized, the sound of a life fully lived, no longer half-hidden, no longer divided, but whole and authentic and beautifully, imperfectly real.
Thanks for watching my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!